Hi, this is David Saville, and this is How to Unleash Your Greatness Part 3. Fear is your superpower. Now, have you ever been gripped by fear? You know, it's so almost disabling that you can't do something. You stop yourself saying something, doing something, you feel stuck, you feel like you can't move forwards. You ever had that? And then what about, have you ever had the other type of fear when like you're on a roller coaster ride or you're watching a horror movie and it's terrifying, but it's exciting and exhilarating at the same time. So, you know, it's sort of like the fear feeds into excitement. So you enjoy it and it feels good. You ever had that as well? What's the difference between the two? Well, you want to know how to use one, how to make that crippling fear into the excited fear. You can learn everything you need to by watching a film called Wanted. Now, this is a cheesy comic book film, like really ludicrous. I mean, I love it actually. It's just so ludicrous that I really love it. But it teaches you everything you need to know about this. It's about a guy called Wesley. In the beginning, he works in an office. He hates his job. His boss screams at him all the time. His best friend's cheating on with his girlfriend. His girlfriend just berates him all the time. You know, he's worn down. He's also got these panic attacks that, you know, when people are having a go at him, he just can't take it, and so he starts sweating. His heart beats faster. His vision goes, and he can't see very clearly. And he just panics, and he grabs the tablets that his doctors prescribed for him, and then he has to run away to get away. You know, I mean, I used to have panic attacks, so I know what that feels like. So that's what he did. But then a whirlwind comes into his life. Angelina Jolie, she comes in and she's like shooting guns and she's whisking him around and saving him from this guy who's chasing him. And, you know, there's car chases and there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. But then she takes him to this secret society, and in it, they tell him that he's actually born with this gift, this amazing ability within him. And that the gift enables him to do amazing things. The gift is that his body can produce so much adrenaline, his heart can beat hundreds of beats a minute. And what that does is it slows time down. It gives him energy, it gives him strength and increased focus and abilities to do things. And in fact, the way they want to prove this to him is to get him to shoot the wings off a fly. He's never shot a gun in his life. I mean, I told you it was a comic book film, right? So at one point they've got a gun to his head. They're holding it to his head. They're about to kill him unless he does this thing. So he panics, and eventually he just shoots 4 things, and the flies of the wing, they pick him up and show them to him. So he's just shot the wings off the fly. And he can't believe it, and I can't remember what happens next, but essentially he wakes up the next morning and in bed, and he's like, it's all a dream. He's relieved, you know, this crazy life this didn't really happen. But then he finds the gun, hides the gun, and he doesn't know what to think. He starts walking along the streets, but as he's walking, he's different. He moves differently. He goes into the office, and his bearing is completely different. He's got this smile on his face, which is freaking out his best friend who's there. And then his boss, she starts screaming at his face because he didn't do something, like this close to him, you know, spitting in his face like she always does. And this time he just said to her, "Fuck off," and just really started screaming. And then he picked up his keyboard, was walking out the door. His friend, who's been cheating on him with his girlfriend, walked up and he smashes it across his face. And then he just walks out the door. Now, I'm not suggesting that you do any of those things because, you know, this is the real world and I don't think you should do that shit. But it completely changed his bearing. And then from that moment on, whenever he got into stressful situations, instead of freaking out, he would be in the moment and able to deal with anything, you know, and he developed that superpower from then on. And what changed for him was a single moment of realization that it was not a weakness, but a strength. And so for you, if ever you're gripped by that fear, that is your strength, it is your superpower. Now, if you want to unleash your greatness, you can contact me at david@davidsaville.co.uk. I've got my project to unleash your greatness in 1,000 people that I'm taking applications for. But also I'd love to know, comment below, what has fear stopped you doing? How does fear grip you and prevent you doing whatever it is that you want to do? I'd love to know. Take care.